and stuff off over here. Oh, I forgot my book, y'all. I got going on here.
Good morning, baby. Mm-hmm. Good morning, good morning,
good morning, guys.
Good morning, mommy. Mommy still moving around. I'm coming. Give me a second.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Or actually, it's afternoon now. Good afternoon. Pebble say hey.
Hi, Pebble.
Hey, guys. We are coming. We're getting ourselves together. Y'all know how we do. I'm always doing the most. Good afternoon, Lorena. Good afternoon, Lady T. Ow. Yes. Lorena said hi, Ma.
Hi, Ma. I ain't got my glasses to see the comments, but hi.
I'll read them to you so you can see. You want me to move over? Or are you okay right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go get, what am I going to get?
Peace to the world.
Peace to the world.
Okay. Right. You're looking quite swell, my darling.
I am. You are too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am going to get my question. The question that I start the day with. But you can
and I'll stay with you. But I can't read, so if you come at it, just come on in and like up.
I just got to get my book out of my purse.
She got to get her books. You know, if you know my baby, she's thorough. That's a fact. She's thorough.
Mm-hmm. My purse is over here.
Right here, my love.
Oh my gosh.
So it's right on
right
there.
In front of us. The snake it would have bit me.
Come at me, people. Family, friends, wherever y'all are. Mwah. All of you. Mm-hmm. Thank you, sweetness.
You're so welcome.
See how good it is to be back with your child.
Do you want you want me to warm up this coffee? Or you want fresh coffee?
You can put a little of both on it. I can stand.
I'm gonna just pour it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, see, it had grounds all in it.
Yeah, I messed up the pot. Okay. Well, here we go, y'all.
Okay, so the coffee is almost done. Fresh coffee on the way. Fresh coffee on the way. All right.
Come on.
Okay, guys. Oh, Lady T said you look. So Terry is Lady T. I know that.
I know Lady T.
I've been calling you Lady T
too. Sometimes.
Oh, is that your little
nickname? Sometimes you just call me T.
That's cute. But I always call Terry Lady T. So I guess you changed. I like that. That's cool. Okay, so today's question, guys.
We all have a little something else in us.
Okay.
All right.
That's right.
Let's start.
Today's question is no, that's okay. Today's question is, what are you most afraid of? So what are you most afraid of? And of course, I guess I'll just let Mom start.
Wow. Let's see. Let's give all of us some time to think about it. Okay? Y'all come at me and tell me what y'all, let me see. I thought about just a little bit last night because she said, Ma, it's gonna be the type of questions I'm gonna ask. So I'm gonna say, when I thought about it, mostly it's I'm most afraid of not getting things right before all of us leave this earth. Yeah. How would you want to leave here afterwards? And it's so real that in my case, I just want things right for her. Not so much. I do want things right for me as well. Don't get that, you know what I'm saying, misunderstood. But my sobriety came, and when I forgave myself, I asked for forgiveness from the Creator, my mom's, my daughter, but I hadn't did it in person yet. But that's how I got clean. So I'm clean, and what happened is, that's what I would be most afraid of.
Okay.
That I don't make things right. So I'm coming back to full circle to tell you why everything is everything.
Word.
Okay. Long but effective.
No, I mean, you answered the question. So Lorena said, "Hi, Mama Bam." So Lorena is gonna be cooking, and so she's just gonna be on, but not typing.
Okay.
Hey, LB. Oh, you're not afraid of nothing? Okay.
Cool.
That's what's up.
Why is that?
Yes.
Not even the creator himself.
Not even. No, well, I'm sure. Well, I don't know. Anyway, Lady T
Noel
said,
with a name like that, I would think so.
Her name is LB.
LB, you just said Noel.
Mm-mm.
All right, excuse me, y'all. There I go again. All up in the Kool-Aid,
that.
don't know the mix.
I said Lorena probably is what you heard. But I said she's not going to be able to talk to us. She's going to be cooking. But anyway, that's not a hint of it. So Pebbles said failure, and I'm right there with you, Pebbles. My biggest fear is not even just failure, but not being successful specifically. So, because I understand sometimes failure is a part of success, but just not being successful. And I know that means different things to different people. But for me, success is, just being happy with the thing I'm doing each day, waking up. I don't want to be in like a dead end job, so to speak, or something I don't like. So long term, obviously, I know everybody has to work their way up. That's like the normal. Not everybody does it, but that's the normal. So Lady T said, being afraid. Terry said, being afraid and all alone when I am old.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a lot of people's fear.
Yeah, but
yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah, but you don't have to.
Is it because you don't like to be around people because they hurt you, or you just alone because you don't have family?
Well, she's not alone. She has a partner, but I think she's saying that's her fear, being all alone when she is old.
Well,
because a lot of people fear that.
Yeah, but I think
as long as you are good to people, then somebody's gonna remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah, something is going on with that coffee pot. I hear it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I was saying. I wasn't blaming that on you. Okay, yeah. Something's going on. Our coffee pot. I think it's possessed. No, I'm gonna go.
No, go ahead, because I want. Yeah, you should wait. Okay, no. Forgive us. It's
oh God.
No, really.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no,
you don't have kids. She doesn't. Terry, you don't have kids, so that's why. That's probably why she feels that way, because she doesn't have children.
Oh,
she said.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I didn't think at first.
No, you're good. Well, I can definitely understand that. And so what I'm trying to do to combat that, Terry, you will not be alone. We will have this space and this family here for all of us to, support each other. And I promise you will not be alone, baby girl. No, ma'am. No one left behind. So, as you guys know, of course, this is coffee time. So, if you are not aware, during coffee time, me and Mama just talk real talk. We pull up with our coffee. You guys pull up with your coffee and get it popping. I'm wearing my onesie today. It's real comf today. That's what I'm on. And that's what we do at coffee time. We come to the table. You're welcome. Yes. We come to the table comfortable and honest and ready to grow. Now you can see. Oh, let me get you situated, because I know you want to be able to. Mom wants to be able to see what you guys are saying. So I'm just gonna.
Hi guys, I'm back.
You are back.
Thank you.
It's true. You have to put that in there. Great. And so I'll just have to get your volume down so it's not.
Turn your volume
down. There you go.
I'm an old person, and believe it or not, because we don't. People think that we are too, but when you don't catch up to the computers, then you have to be retaught. And I'm all for it right now. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Everything has to change when it changes.
You can read, but you can of course comment.
Of course.
When they ask live, but that way you can read there.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So now we're here.
And I have mine up too. That way I am not struggling. So if you guys see me looking at my phone, I'm looking at you guys' comments. So good. Pebbles has her coffee. So today we're talking about boundaries. So what do you think a boundary is? I always feel like it's really important to define things, especially for me, because I think I think a lot of times we assume that everyone understands what something means, and they really don't necessarily always understand what something means. So, of course, a boundary specifically physically means, something physical like a wall or a gate. Those are boundaries to cut off you from an area or keep someone from going inside an area. But when you're talking about a relational boundary, you're talking about boundaries between people.
Yes.
So that's like
Real
family,
different.
friends, relationship, right? So family, friends, or romantic relationship. So relational boundaries separate people and help distinguish your unique identity from that of another person. This concept is relatively easy to understand when the person is a coworker that you're creating a boundary with, but it can be a little more difficult when you're talking about family. And Pebble says it's important to stress your boundaries to all of the people in your life, and it definitely is. And I think
Pebbles.
You want to say something?
Yeah, you're right, Pebbles. But sometimes you have family members whom, if you do come at them, and not all, you just don't want to create the tension. So you try to, steer clear of certain things.
So just to tie into what you're saying, Ma, it gets a little more complicated the closer you are to a person, because it's easier for the boundaries to become too loose or too rigid. So boundaries are developed with you knowing yourself. And I think that's a big part of it. In order to set a boundary, you have to know where your comfort is and where, basically what makes you uncomfortable.
Right.
And Pebble said, as long as it's very respectful. And I agree with that. The family unit you grew up in, what teaches you your boundaries is normally the family unit you grew up in.
Sure.
How you were raised.
Yeah.
Because if you were raised and your parent,
raised by.
right, and your parent didn't give you didn't set boundaries as a parent, or didn't give you boundaries, then you're going to have difficulty growing up and learning how to do those things.
You too much
Exactly. Gave you too much autonomy.
Or too less.
Right. That's what that means. Autonomy. That's what that means.
Yes.
So if they give you too much autonomy, which means if they just let you loose free, then that also you have a hard time creating boundaries for people, because you don't know how it looks. You also may perceive that everybody should be open like you and have autonomy, and you should be in people's life and all of their affairs and stuff like that. So basically, if our parents, and I'm actually reading from mentalhealth.net. I love this website, but it states that if our parents and other influential adults understood what healthy boundaries were and modeled these for us, we probably grew up with the ability to develop close, meaningful relationships that were long-term and felt safe and secure. However, if our parents weren't clear on what healthy boundaries were entailed, chances are we've been guessing our way through one disappointing relationship after one and disappointing relationship after another. So a healthy relationship between parents would look something like this. Enables their kids to have a private life, but respectful, obviously. So for instance, if you have two parents and, something that you would want a boundary with would be like, okay, we have a sexual relationship. That's not something I'm necessarily going to go to my 8-year-old and tell my 8-year-old, right? So,
Exactly.
Two parents, if they're having sex, they have a healthy sexual relationship, or if they have beef, if the two parents are beefing in some type of way, are upset about something, they shouldn't go to their kids, neither one, and make them aware of the situation. And a great example of that is something like this. And this is where, thank you so much, Pebbles. Yes. This is where people really go over the boundaries and don't realize it a lot of times. So for instance, let's just say two parents are arguing, whether they're in the family and the household or not together, right? And the child can physically see that one of the parents is upset. And the mother, let's just say it's the mother, and the mother is like, upset or crying, and they ask for comfort from the child. They say, come give me a hug because daddy's made me upset, or daddy's made me cry. You should never say something like that, because that is that you are really affecting the boundary of your child, because you're making your child take on something that you should be handling, and it should not be something that they are honestly privy. They shouldn't be a part of it. They shouldn't be a part of the conversations, the adult conversation there. And so
boundaries,
basically the boundaries function to keep private actions private, and so they won't affect your child. And I have a friend that's an adult now. It does. Children soak up everything. But I have a friend who's an adult now, and her mother, of course, she's on a different wavelength with her mother, but her mother will call and talk to her about things that her dad is doing. And of course, that affects her, the way she looks at her father. And that's not to say her mom is doing that to be hateful or to be mean. Her mom is only doing that because she needs somebody to talk to.
Exactly.
And she doesn't want to, but that's where therapists come in and professionals, because you cannot throw that burden on your family and your children. It's not fair. And so it definitely makes her interact with her father on a different level because of that. So that's like an example of boundaries being crossed, right? Okay. So basically, family boundaries can be very interesting. I think it's easy, like we said, to set up boundaries between coworkers. If you're working with somebody, you're not gonna, you kind of off the gate let people know that you're working with or acquaintances. This is what I'm comfortable with, and don't pass that. Don't pass go. Okay. But when it comes to family, oftentimes they will cross the boundaries and they play with the lines. So if basically a balanced boundary would be if basically a mix of engagement, autonomy, and autonomy meaning freedom, the freedom to do what you need to do. So it's challenging to find boundaries. And so
can I ask you something? The freedom meaning what? On both sides? On both sides.
I mean, the ability to hey, Mookie, that's okay. The ability to talk, basically, and have that freedom to express yourself. Okay. But that doesn't mean you have to make somebody uncomfortable. Yeah. Any relationship. So I'll share a personal story of my own. Obviously, I've discussed some of my familial issues with you guys. Of course, the background of my mom and I. And whenever you're in a situation, any kind of relationship, if you feel abused or used or manipulated, or you leave a situation and you do not know how to feel, like you feel bad, but you don't know exactly why you feel bad, you need to ask yourself, do I have a boundary with this person? Someone told me recently, every time I go visit my mom, and I think that Terry mentioned this last time when we speak on the phone, it puts me in a mood. And that's like a common thing. I don't really have people like that in my life anymore, but there was times when people were like that in my life. And there was a time when I was like that with my mother. It wasn't always something she would say, but it could just be something she did, frustration. And it would really send me in a whirlwind of emotions. And so I had to, through therapy, I started talking to my therapist. And my therapist was very, very hands-on, very specific, very direct, straightforward. And she said, well, baby, what do you want to do about it? Your mom is this way. Her actions are this way. What are you going to do about it? And I said, I don't know. I don't know what I can do about it. And she was like, exactly. There's nothing you can do about that. But what you can do is create boundaries. Create boundaries. If you don't want to answer that phone because you see somebody calling in and you don't think it's going to be a productive conversation, don't answer it. If you need to tell somebody, okay, this is the space, the time, and the space that you have me, then that's true. Boundaries are like creating that triangle, changing that enabler, which is you, to somebody who is assisting and helping. So,
it's true.
So
I'm giving her, to go. It's true. It's to listen and learn as well. We too. We just because we're adults don't mean we know everything. Okay. That's where we get it messed up. We don't know everything. So to say
that's right, Pebbles. You have to protect your energy. And Terry said, yes, Bam, so true. And so what it boils down to is boundaries actually is about open communication, believe it or not. It is about teaching people how to treat you, period. And people always say, if people say, good morning, Casey. Good morning, baby. Casey. So people always say, you have to teach people how to treat you. How you do that is through boundaries. You let them know where they had you fucked up at. You lead them right there. No, I'm joking. No, but for real, there's a sense of truthness. There's a sense of honesty to that. Because, when people show me who they are, I was telling Mom, I'm at a place in my life where I don't necessarily hold on to it with like a grudge, because I did used to do that. Teenage years, young adult years, I used to hold grudges and be mad at people. I don't really have no hate in my heart or anger in my heart for anybody specifically. I actually most of the time feel pretty sad for people. Like if they have done me wrong or done harm to me, I feel bad about it. because I know that they don't know any better way to be. They don't know any other way to do it.
It's
However,
critical, and it's very critical.
However, I've learned how to create a boundary, how to not let their what I feel are poor decisions or poor behaviors affect me by my own boundaries. And that's something I have control over. So at the time, my therapist taught me how to, essentially let my mom know, hey, we can speak. Okay, once it starts getting into a place, okay, I'll talk to you a little bit later. It's not really that hard.
But you don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Okay, then
it can be difficult. I think the initial conversations can be difficult, but once you start setting up boundaries, it's very empowering, and you realize how it makes you feel, how much better you feel, and how much more productive you are. It's power in it, and it becomes so much easier because you're like, because again, I think it's hard. I think it's only hard if you're coming from a place of like anger, and some of the boundary in the beginning, it might be angry, but I don't think overall it's about anger. It's about you being healthy, you being the healthiest person you can be.
Yeah.
Casey says showing people how to treat you. Absolutely. Start by showing how to treat yourself. And that is exactly right.
Yeah.
Basically, Casey says showing people how to treat you starts with showing them how you treat yourself, which is boundaries, which is why all of that works.
True.
Absolutely.
But we also have to be humble as well to learn.
Yeah.
To listen.
But
comfort beyond not hurting oneself.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's really simple. The boundaries are basic guidelines to help people create and establish how others are able to behave around you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
True. And that matters too. Watching other people's behaviors with an individual is very important.
Yes.
Because then you get to see who that person is to other people as well. And that's a strong suit, because then you know who they have created, what kind of love their circle is around.
I agree.
You understand? So
So setting boundaries can, and sorry guys if I'm also looking at you guys' comments, but setting boundaries can assure that relationships can be mutually respectful, appropriate, supportive, caring, etc. So however, at some point in your life, you probably felt like, okay, these boundaries are being violated. My boundaries that I feel where I'm comfortable at is being crossed. So
over and over.
You may feel a person is doing that, so you may approach them if it's something that's making you uncomfortable, that's ticking at your sanity, like it's kind of like getting you off. How do you deal with that? How do you guys deal with that normally?
How would you deal?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is communication. So obviously some of the easiest things are like, we can break it down to a simpler thing, which is a physical boundary. If you're in a store and somebody's too close to you, what would you say to them if you're in a store and somebody's too close to you? Physical boundary.
I would give them a look, but
you would give them a look, okay?
Yeah, a little look, but you shouldn't.
To see if they will pick up on the fact that you're uncomfortable. Okay,
right.
That's the first step. But then if you give them a look and they still don't move, then you can say something to them, right?
Yes.
That's what you would say.
And pick your words, because sometimes you can hurt them and they could be not even paying attention.
Right.
So
they're that close to you.
Yeah, but they probably not even aware. People could be far away and be right there.
Right.
Everybody has a chill, but there's something that you feel uncomfortable with, you're feeling.
Yes. Yeah. Or so you would start with the look, like,
wait a minute.
I know me personally, I oftentimes will try to remove myself. I'll try to make that's because, and I think it's because through my therapy, I've learned that you have to be responsible. You can't always expect other people. So, I tell them, back that ass up. Okay? Back that ass up.
Right.
Right. No, but I normally try to kind of remove myself, and then I'll give them a look. And then after the look, I'm like, come on. I've tried to move away from you. Why you keep being so close to me? Why? You had this happen to you recently.
Yes.
What happened?
Oh my God. Oh,
it was a whole story. But
yes. I'm going to I'll go into it slightly, but it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable when you recognize that someone is a little close
in your space.
Yeah, when you only being nice as a gentleman. And he kept coming around me and asking, and I'm like, okay, man, don't you have somewhere to go? Like,
what's going on?
And I didn't understand. I'm sorry. I'm
squeezing my stuff so tight.
I'm sorry.
My God.
Take off
the whole.
It's how it made me feel. Like, get away.
Yeah.
Word. But afterwards I said, don't you have to get on the bus? Don't you have to tell me you have to do? You're a grown man.
Yeah.
You mean? And I felt bad, but I was uncomfortable.
But did you say something to him?
I did. That's what I'm telling y'all. I'm telling them. I'm telling you.
You told him, like, back up, bro.
Don't you have somewhere to be?
Yeah.
I was trying to be nice because you don't want to treat bad people bad either.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's a good example.
Boundaries.
That's a good example.
There you go.
But it probably had to do with what he was taught. And like, as you guys know, in the Western world, we're taught that physical space is important. But in the Eastern world, like in China and like some of the Asian continents, they talk very close. And, they even address people differently. Like in Mexico, they kiss on the cheek and stuff like that. Like, so when they greet people, so that's that's not something that, I don't know.
Okay.
You must have moved it.
But
I'm sorry. That's okay. No, that's okay. That was good. Yes. So
my mouth was getting thirsty, y'all.
You can have some of mine.
Thank you. Hey, save me, I'm drowning.
So Pebble said, "Let them know, Baba."
So girl is scary.
T said, "I give them more." T said, "I give them more room." And then if it doesn't work, I say something. That's me.
Exactly. Thank you.
Casey said, "I cannot stand when someone stands too close to me in the line, shaking my head. I just move up a little bit. But if they scoot up also, I speak to them." Which is something that happens. You'd be like, "Bro, I moved up because you were too close to me."
I went round the block. Came back and you came up.
Oh my gosh. So
it was not cute.
Terry said, "I had a young boy." Excuse me, guys. Terry, thank you. Terry said, "I had a young boy butt my ass yesterday at the store. I looked at him really mad. He says, 'Sorry.'" Dang, he was up on you like that?
A little boy? A
young boy.
Yeah,
and then Casey said, "I had someone do that to me at the doctor. I turned around and told him, I can't. Can I get some space, man?" He was like, "Oh, my bad. Yeah,
it's bad, all right.
Thank you so much, Casey. I need all the blessings. So, no, that's good. That's good. Now, another example would be like if someone gets too personal with you, like asking too many personal questions.
That's a big one.
That's emotional.
A lot of women do that with each other.
Really? Like, give me an example of what you mean.
If you're sitting on a bus or a train, or you're into another kind, people are listening. But if you're more in an intimate space, people tend to do it, and other people will carry your stuff. So you got to be careful.
So they'll be like, say you got on, talking to somebody, and they're like, "Hey, how many children have you had?" And you're like, "I have one daughter," and they're like, "Oh, you haven't had any abortions?"
What?
But people do ask some wild ass questions. They do. They ask some wild ass questions. So
if I told you, what would that?
So how do you handle when somebody says something that's way too personal? I normally will. I normally probably will look at them just like that, like a deer in headlights. Like, whoa, you just asked me that. And most of the time they're like, "Oh, was that too much or was that too far?" And I'll let them know, I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah. But everybody you think that you're comfortable with, it's your shit be all around your little space.
No.
It ain't happening,
but if it makes you uncomfortable, how would you handle it if if the question is too personal and it's not somebody that
I
you
would talk to
comfortable
the person that I'm in front of
and just say,
what made you ask that question? Like, why would you ask? Is something going on in your life? Just right? To ask something that's off that you ain't. What's going on with you?
Right. That's a good question. Is something going on with you?
I'm sorry.
No. You're fine. It's like it's something.
Where that come from?
It's something going on with you that I
told you not to
understand.
tell it. God damn,
I understand. Be like, I don't understand why you asked me
What
that.
you
So
want,
how would you
Bambina?
guys? Thank you. Everybody is cracking up. Pebble said, she said, mind your damn business. That's the way I imagine her saying it. Casey said, the way y'all both look at the screen, I'm weak. Mine's weak.
Yo, and my cat is trying to sneak out the door.
No, she ain't go nowhere. Hey, Miss Thing, no.
She want to see the birds and get caught out there. The rabbits tear that ass up.
Right.
Them big hands.
So
I don't know how to get hurt though.
yeah.
I love her.
So basically, if somebody's being, Casey said, oh, Terry also said that was cute. You both did that together.
Yeah,
and
because that's how funny.
That's how it feel, right? And then Casey said,
turn red.
right. I'm good with words. I can talk to you. I can talk to you around the answer. You think you're getting okay? Laugh out loud. If you still don't get the hint, I'm gonna flat out tell you, nah, we ain't about to talk about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Casey, that's
Thank
clever.
you.
Some people are really good at that, and I can be okay with
and
that.
then you, at the time when you want to communicate, you kind of flowing with the conversation.
Yeah.
But like, whoa, when they catch you off with something that you're not really flowing with.
Right, but that's a boundary. So that's how you handle that. So basically what Casey was saying is that the way she handles that
and that's
is
cool, kid.
That she first would, talk around the question as if so to make them think that she's actually answering it, but she's really not. Yeah. And if they still don't get the hint and they still pressing the situation, she gonna flat out tell them.
Yes, cool.
That's
and I
good.
Respect that. Can't do
that's good.
Your boundaries again.
Or yeah, because I've had people. Well, we'll get into that.
But you want to say it, baby?
Well,
yeah, talk about it.
Sometimes also okay. So, and at work, because this is really psychological more so, but this is psychological boundaries. So I've had a situation at a workplace. I think I've shared with you guys that I've been having some health issues, and I really think these medical health issues have been a part of me for quite some time now. They've been with me for a while, but I just never had them diagnosed. And I kind of just always thought it was like anxiety or depression. And I'll tell you some of my symptoms now, but they are like chronic fatigue, exhaustion, dizziness, headaches. So a lot of just strange symptoms.
Yeah.
And so I think I've had them for a very long time because I've been dealing with a lot of these issues for a long time. When I worked at a workplace where I actually had gotten approved FMLA. So as far as me and my employer and my management and leadership staff, they were 100% behind me. But a lot of people that I worked with, they were haters and they were talking and chattering, not to my face, of course, but they were trying to make,
look outside
was overstepping their boundary,
Okay, cool.
So that's basically what I'm saying. So they were, why, like mom was about to say, why is she off and I'm not, I can't get off, I can't do this, I can't, and it's like, I didn't really know what was going on with me to the extent then, but now looking back in it in retrospect, it's really, it really caused issues with me. And yeah, for real. And because I didn't really know how to express myself and how to let them know that they were crossing my boundaries. Like you asking about my health, you talking amongst the other people here at work. Of course you can control people, but you coming from that perspective is fucking with my boundaries. And so because you're at work, you got to take a different approach. And so thank you so much, Pebbles. I appreciate that. I pray it goes away as well. But I think for me, the way I handled it is I just really, and I wish I had more tools at that time, but I just really ignored it and acted like I didn't know it was happening, but I was very aware and it affected me. Because when you're sick, the last thing you need to be worried about is more people getting, people judging you for you're already, because of me, I take a lot of pride in my work and being a worker, and it means a lot to me. So not having that support in that space can be frustrating, but I had to learn. It's something I may have to deal with when people don't understand and are often cruel to the disabled, because that's essentially what was going on with me. Being disabled because people don't understand it. They're going through their stuff and they just are like, it's unfair.
Yeah.
They feel like it's unfair. So,
yeah.
but Pebbles said, "Hey, Kayla, that is all right. That's all right." Again, Pebbles said again, mind your damn business, but in a very respectful way.
Okay, and I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but it's real.
Yeah.
If you fall out, then everybody knows after you
Yeah.
the situation. Bah.
Right.
Y'all don't take me nowhere, please.
I'm trying to tell you. So it says, often we assume that people will respect our boundaries because we were brought up and taught what is acceptable by our family and or culture. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Although we can choose who we interact with in our personal life, sometimes we cannot choose who we interact with in our work environments, which is literally what I just said: work, family, and community.
Exactly.
We can feel uncomfortable or even violated if we interact with those people who have poor boundaries. In fact, it may be more problematic with people who have mental health issues. Often, we know that our boundaries have been violated by the way we feel. Feelings of confusion, anxiety, or feeling drained by another person can all be signs that our boundaries have been violated. So if somebody if you're feeling all those feelings, like I said earlier, somebody's probably violated your boundaries.
Oh, wow.
Narcissists are notorious for violating boundaries, and this behavior appears to be increasing in our culture. Therefore, we have to know how to establish healthy emotional, psychological, and physical boundaries in our relationship so we can feel respected and safe. How the first step is knowing your rights to a healthy relationship.
Exactly. That's what.
So, do you know your rights to a healthy relationship? One, do you know how to feel safe in a relationship? I think that's the first question that you have to answer for yourself. What makes you feel safe and comfortable in your relationship? So that's how you can
see if you have it.
Know your boundaries. Well, you can see if you have it, but also
make sure that you acquire to it.
Exactly.
To inspire to it.
Right. To have your privacy and boundaries you have created respected. That's the other thing. Are the boundaries and your privacy that you have created, are they being respected? If not, how can you help somebody learn how to respect them? Okay. To be heard and listened to. She's going to get our coffee. To be heard and listened to. To feel validated. That's huge for me. I have to feel validated. There's been so many times that I feel like people are like listening, like they hear me, but they're not listening to me. They also don't agree with what it's not even that you have to agree per se, but I think when you are talking with someone or someone that's supposed to care about you, they need to validate your feelings. And they don't always have to say like, I understand, but even to say that happened, it wasn't my intention, but I'm sorry that it made you feel that way. They're validating that happened. Just like even my mom, like our last live where she was talking about, that was wrong of me. That was not something a good mother would do. That's a validation. And it allows you to kind of move forward and kind of know where your boundary is. Terry said, foster care has taught me to deal with a lot of different personalities. I'm sure. I can only imagine the ups and downs of that. It's a lot of work, and it's pretty powerful that you made that decision. And I think that's amazing, especially knowing that you don't have children that you did that. So that's fantastic, Terry. Wow. And Pebble said, yes. A lot of times, Terry said, a lot of times treat people how you want to be treated. Oh, facts. Absolutely. Hi, Trendy. So Trendy says, we all know that this world would mean nothing without a woman or a girl. Women are stronger than anyone can imagine. Let's celebrate their endless power today. Happy Women's Day. Yes, I'm so happy you brought that up in the middle. This is perfect because I also wanted to tell you guys that it is International Women's Day. So celebrate your femininity. Celebrate being a woman. We are powerful. Without us, there is no source in this world. Like life ends, okay, without women. So, we're the bomb. I would bust out into Beyonce right now for y'all, but
go for it, baby.
But it's true. You better know.
How many of the teaspoons you want?
Just a little. Just give me like 2. Okay. That might be too much, but it might be strong. I don't know.
Yes.
So, to be appreciated and valued is important in a relationship. To respect that the answer is no means no. To have your needs met and then to be treated respectfully, absence of, to be treated respectfully, absence of emotion, physical or verbal abuse. Yes, happy Women's Day, queens. I always say treat people better than what you want to be treated, because sometimes people don't mind being treated like shit. And that's the truth, Casey. Sometimes they don't even know how to be treated better. And Lady Terry said, I love being a woman. Yes.
I do too, Ted Bay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where is everyone from is what Trendy Villager is asking. I am originally from Brooklyn, New York, but I have lived in North Carolina for many years. Right now we reside in Raleigh, North Carolina. Let us know where everybody's from. I know where a couple people are from, but I will let them speak for themselves. Thank you so much, Mom.
If it's okay.
Okay, yes. Fresh coffee.
Yeah, see, it takes it, mother.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can bring some more.
Oh, this is great.
Oh, there it is. Ain't a good job, good.
Because I don't like it too sweet. Stockton Cali, my girl Lady T and Cali, going back to Cali. Okay, so identifying your limits in a relationship is the first step in maintaining healthy boundaries. So this is the real good stuff. This is like the Oreo filling, okay? So, for example, within a relationship, if you meet a new friend and you tell them you are busy, but they continue to call and text you, you may find they are not accepting your answer where you're telling them, hey, and that's happened to me. That's absolutely happened to me where I told somebody, I'm busy, I won't be available. They still are calling and texting no matter what. And I'm like, I'm telling you that I'm not available, but again, that's where communication comes in. The second step is you have to stick to those boundaries and have a plan that if someone crosses your limits, you have a plan on what you're going to do. So, of course, I would say practice assertiveness and let them know, like, I'm not available. And you may need to say it in a different way. Sometimes people need to hear things differently. It may sound crazy, but sometimes people need to hear things differently. And honestly, yes, Pebbles, toast to everyone with their coffee.
Okay, I'm coming. Here's my sugar.
Yes.
Yeah, put this.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Okay, you just supposed to eat with the people.
Oreos.
I'll give you some ice water.
Speaking of Oreos, I'll put those over there. That's perfect. Yeah. I was going to make some fried Oreos. Are there any left?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I got to put them in the freezer. I was going to make some fried Oreos. Okay, that'll be good.
Okay, great.
Would you guys like me to do a video on fried Oreos? It would be a short video, but they're super easy to make. And a lot of people like them, but they don't know how to make them. So I always think I never had them. They're so easy. But so basically, a lot of the reason why people let people push their boundaries is because they don't want to hurt their feelings. But in the long run, you're hurting your own feelings. And that's what I don't understand. You're putting yourself on the back burner so that way other people can be comfortable. Like, that's not okay. Like, that's not okay at all. But basically, I would say when it comes to just general boundaries, we just need to be comfortable with letting people know how we feel and where we're at. So, for instance, me and my mom were talking about a situation today where she was talking about how
hi, I'm back.
She is back. She was basically talking about people and them feeling like, oh, thank you. You could have did this later.
It's okay. She needs to hydrate.
Thank you.
We all do.
Especially when you drink that water. That coffee. But basically, people were trying to tell her things about me. Mm-hmm. And I think that when it comes to me and my mom's relationship, it's something that's very fragile. And it's something that is, because it is such a fragile relationship and such a delicate relationship, you really have to be careful with how you let people come to you about it. Mm-hmm. So one thing my mom was saying is that's a boundary for her. Once people start talking about me, she lets them know now, hey, we got a limit. It's a limit, basically. And if you cross it, I'm not comfortable with it. And that's what you got to do.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because basically, because it was such a touchy situation with me, and it was long overdue, that when I talked about it, but I didn't want to really express it, and I didn't understand why nobody else wanted to be able to express it with me. But that's another Sunday again that I'm going to. But boundaries are this, it's not happening. It's not happening any longer because I could have come together sooner, very much sooner.
Yes.
And if I would have known some of the things that was going on.
Oh,
sad.
She was looking at your cup. She said, yes, Sag cup.
I was looking at,
And mine sad, is a Capricorn.
Yeah. So I would have came together sooner, but rather than later. So I'm here now, and God has definitely brought me back. And he brought me back clear-headed. So I'm
blessings. Bless up.
Okay. So he brought me back where I'm in right state, so I can handle it. Okay.
Yes, that's right. So basically, let's read what Casey said. Okay. Casey was talking to, but she said, I was born and raised in Tacoma, Washington, about 20 minutes away from Seattle, Washington. I've lived in Arizona for the last 4 years, and I hate it.
Why? It's too hot?
I don't know why I think she's mentioned that before, but I can't remember why she said that. Thanks, Pebbles. Pebbles said it was cute. And Casey said, this is true. You can't handle everybody the same way. Different people need to be handled differently. Yeah. We're leading that in business class about countries and different ethics. Facts. So you kind of got to know who you're dealing with in order to create a boundary and let them know what you're comfortable with. Exactly. And I think sometimes people get so frustrated, they're not even able to express themselves verbally. They automatically assume that somebody is where they are and will understand things the way they do. And so you do have to have a little patience when you're putting yourself out there to interact with people as a whole.
It's just true. And with me, you felt like that we was able to communicate, right, with our boundaries and
talk. Now we can talk. I tell my mom, I don't like that, or that bothers me, and she says, hey, I need it to be this way. Like, one of the things I know about you, even though this is more of a how you are, but I know it's a boundary. My mom is not able, and we're actually very alike in this way. We can't actually move forward and do something unless our environment is clean. Yeah. So I know a boundary of hers would be if I'm pushing her to come and do something, even though the house is not in order. Right. She's not going to be okay with that. It will make you uncomfortable if somebody was to do that. And so you would probably not feel comfortable always expressing to somebody like, hey, my house is not in order. So I'm not trying to really, but I automatically already know that about you. Oh, but that's a great example. Matters. It does. It does. And when that's what I'm saying though, when you're dealing with somebody that loves you, when you're dealing with somebody who cares about you, it's easy for them to accept your boundaries. Yeah. It's easy because somebody might be like, oh, we're just running to the store.
Healthy boundaries.
It's just running to the store. Right. That part. But we're just running to the store. We're just doing this. It's real quick. Team, it's not going to be a lot. All you got to do is run out. But it makes me uncomfortable to do that. So understand that my boundary is this. And you understand it.
And you're violating it. Basically. Okay. So that was that. And I appreciate
Casey said, bam, them nails down someone's back. Yes. Yes.
Peace. And believe me, they feel good. They look good too.
Pebbles, what Laugh Out Loud? She's showing the cup. I couldn't help but notice them back scratches. Oh God, Casey is off the chain, Ma. You already know.
Oh man, that's my girl though.
That's my girl. Mm-hmm. So basically, the limits that you set, it just to conclude kind of the conversation on boundaries and just to summarize it, boundaries are limits you set for others, how you teach people how to treat you, how to go about interacting with others so they know where your comfort is. So how exactly do you set that up for yourself? Number one, I think that is so important is know your own limits, which we touched on, but this is exactly what it is. Know your limits. Know
what you have none, then what?
Think about it. Everybody got them. But if you don't know them, You
Right.
can't really expect somebody to adhere to them if you don't even know your own limits. So clearly define what your intellectual, emotional, physical, and spiritual boundaries are with strangers, work colleagues, friends, family, relationship, intimate partners. Okay, examine past experiences and times when you felt discomfort, when you felt anger, when you felt resentment or frustration with an individual. Think about that. Think about these different times that you felt these emotions, right? And if it may have been because a boundary was crossed.
Exactly.
And create, if you have to, you can create something called a boundary.
Let me ask you something. We finish. Go ahead.
If you have to, create something called a boundary chart, which outlines each boundary that you feel, and and then per each relationship will have, and you create a category of each relationship and fill it out with the boundary criteria you feel comfortable and safe within with that person.
Is it outside?
For instance, I don't feel comfortable when work colleagues ask me about my childhood.
Okay.
So if the boundary is childhood questions, you basically put what relationships you don't feel comfortable with asking you childhood questions. So that way you create it.
No, where? In your household?
You create a chart. It could be in a notebook. It can be in your household, a big flip chart, whatever you need.
Know to go
That's
to
right. So you can start.
Automatically.
Well, you create it. So especially if you don't know, so you know what your limits are. So that's a good thing to do.
So you finished with the boundary.
You can go ahead. No, I'm not finished. But you have a question.
Well, what about when your boundaries are? You have yours, and they set theirs, and people still cross them boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning not to say, but sometimes people really don't get it off the top.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't get it.
That's a whole nother conversation, and I'll address that after I'm done, if that's okay. Because I really want to close this part out by talking about how to create the boundaries for yourself. So first, you have to know what those are. So know your limits. And like I stated, you can create a chart for that. And the chart is simple. I think mine was overthinking a little bit, but you can literally write it in a notebook or a flip chart or a dry erase board. But you literally put the things that make you feel all those uncomfortable feelings.
Yes.
List the uncomfortable feelings, whether it's anger or anxiety or pain. And then put in a circle the relationships of the people that you're not comfortable. The categories and topics that make you feel that way, or the things that make you feel that way, and the relationships of the people you don't feel comfortable with. It'll just allow you some clear guidelines and definitions for yourself, so you can help other people how to learn how to treat you. So basically, Casey says, boundaries and communication from me go hand in hand. You have to be able to express and communicate verbally or even with body language so someone can understand your boundaries. Exactly. Absolutely. So the second, look who is done twerking. Hey,
Nova, super baby.
Nova, when I tell you that workout was intense yesterday. Mom was out there twerking. She was out there doing a little something. I'm gonna try to get the video together for y'all. It's gonna be a short video because I want to show my progression, but I did take some video of yesterday, the twerk class, the isolation and twerk class. So I will show that to you guys. If you go on my Instagram right now, you can see a little clip of us dancing yesterday. It was really, really fun. But
miss you.
Mom misses you, but she talk about you every damn day. So annoying. No, I'm joking. We love you. I love her and miss her too. So the second would be to be assertive. Create and state boundaries. Stating boundaries is great. Okay, creating them and stating them are great, but it's the follow through that counts. The only way to truly alert others that your boundaries have been crossed is to tell them and be direct with them. Don't be afraid. Tell them. You're an adult. You deserve respect. You are a person. You have feelings. They do too. So when you're direct, it's good for them.
It's good for both of you.
It's good for both parties. Okay.
You feel so much better.
Be assertive. You know, you can't. It can be scary to do that, but it's okay.
Last time.
Gotcha. It's okay. Yeah. So start off small and then build to something more manageable to talk about, and then build to and that'll build your assertion skill too. Because people think that assertiveness is not aggressiveness, and that's clear. And for instance, what y'all talking about? So Pebble said, Nova. Nova said, damn it. And
I know Pebble, you having a good time. Cracking everybody up.
And then Casey said, even write them down in the note app in your phone. Keep them with you so you can remind yourself. Yes.
That's what I meant. Thanks, Kate. There it is.
Yeah, you can remind yourself
where you need to, because sometimes it happens and you don't really realize it. And then if you can go back to hey, I'm feeling something different.
Oh, I'll give it to you, Casey.
Cool.
So I'm
with that. And don't forget my pictures.
Don't forget my pictures. Picture. I'm about to give it to y'all in the chat.
You look so swell. Okay. I can't hold the conversation now, right?
Right, you can't. Oh yeah, just wait on that.
Wait.
So basically, these are things you can do, small things you can do to help you. I did drop my Instagram in the comments, so you guys follow me. Be happy to interact with you guys there. But
thumbs up to that.
Thumbs up to that. So basically, if you are, for instance, did the waitress get your order wrong? Ask her. It's okay to say to her, hey, what did you have down that I ordered? That's assertion. You don't have to be aggressive. There are so many different ways you could do it. Instead of saying you got my order wrong or my order is wrong. Hey, what did you have? What did you get down that I ordered? Oh, actually, this is what I wanted. And just move on. And just move on. You know. Cool. Did a friend do something to hurt you? Ask them to meet you for lunch or breakfast or coffee and talk about it. And then say, hey, you know, I don't even know if you knew this, but the other day what you said hurt my feelings, and this is why.
And then
start finding out how to.
Out,
right. That's right. Be assertive. Cool. Be assertive and let people know how to treat you. She may still be a little off-put, be like, oh, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. It's about letting them know how you feel. Okay.
So that you can get around it. Yeah.
Yes.
Or go through it.
Yeah.
Not even around it. Through
exactly. Is a cousin intruding on your dating life or talking about, and you can let them know, I'd rather talk about something else. I don't want to talk about that right now.
Right.
I'm not. And it's crazy because I used to really struggle with that. Yeah. And now I'm just so direct. It's so good for me to say. I'll let people know quick. This is my number one go-to. I don't really like the way this conversation's going. I really like, and most of the time, it makes people laugh. It is the way you say it. It is the way you say it, lady. It is the way you say it, Lady T. It is. But I have been saying it, and it has been working. The way this conversation is I don't really like the way and I do a little smile. I don't really like the way this conversation is going.
Okay, did y'all hear that?
And I keep it going from there.
There it is.
Or my other go-to is, I can't speak on that. I used to always tell. Listen, I used to always tell Brandon that if I was to ever see my ex and she came up to me and was like, "Hey, you know, Bam, what's going on? How are you?" I'm gonna be like, "I think you have me mistaken with someone else."
Yo, you tell me that's not
I'm gonna trip, y'all.
That's not.
But that's how I handle situations.
And I'm learning all this about my baby, so y'all need to know. It's all new.
You must have me mistaken with someone else. Y'all know about Penny. So, Pebble said, Lady T said that's a good one. Pebble said that's me all day. Hey. If you don't want to talk about something, I don't, Periana. Period. And so, Lady T said, I like that when I would use that one. I feel free. Please do use it. Feel free. Use it. So number 3 is practice makes perfect. So when it comes to to, of course, knowing how you feel, basically number one, which was know your limits and being assertive. Practice makes perfect. You just have to keep doing them until you get more comfortable, and it just becomes a part of who you are.
True.
You cannot let people
need help
constantly violate you, because you will either snap. Which is not good, right?
Not a good
snap, or you'll internalize it, and all of those things will end up hurting you more than anyone else. So that's why it's so important, that you are able to express yourself. So when you first start doing it, it's going to feel uncomfortable, all those things. But as you do it more and more, it's not going to be. And people may feel like you're being unkind or harsh with them because they're not used to it from you.
Yes.
But I mean, that'll pass. Please, if they really fuck with you, that'll pass.
Yeah.
If all else fails, love is love. If all else fails, y'all know what to do. Delete and ignore.
Okay.
We are not, you gonna leave them people right where they had you fucked up at.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. There's no reason to There's no reason to engage in conversation or in relationships,
especially when it's not healthy.
That are unhealthy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not something that's going to get you anywhere other than mad, and you're going to be talking about the rest of the day. And who wants that? Mm-hmm. No, we don't want that. Right. We don't want that in a space that we haven't creating something like, whoa, you want to go home and say, oh, it was rocking. I enjoyed myself with my family, my people, my friends. You don't want to go home to this fucking shit. Nah, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Casey said, when you are, be simple and straight to the point. Not rude, but make it simple and clear so they can understand, and nothing can be misinterpreted. Again, communication. Casey said, I feel you on that one, Bam. I'm sorry. Who are you looking for? Maybe I can help you find her. Amen.
Okay.
Casey, you better speak it into existence. I 100% agree with that.
All right.
I know that's right.
Big.
You gotta be like,
that's
I'm sorry. Who you look, girl? I do not play. I do not.
I must got me mistaken for someone.
You must have me mistaken with someone else. You must have me mistaken. Yes.
Don't get me started.
Don't.
That's what got me
red. No, but it's crazy because I think that there are a couple things that have changed in my life over the last couple years.
Yeah.
I recognize that family does not obligate me. The title of a family member does not obligate me to deal with any kind of abuse, any kind of mistreatment. I have the right as an adult and a person, a human being, to let people know how I feel and how they make me feel. You don't have to deal with mistreatment, period, no matter who they are. I don't care if it's your own mama, child, daughter, sister, cousin, friend. Okay?
So when they know, then they either deal with you
accordingly. You better know it, Lady T. I love me some Mae West. You better know it.
Yeah.
It's a bad bitch right there. That's a bad bitch. You know what, y'all?
Walk in the room and men be like, whoa.
Because she was a bad bitch. Okay? Let me tell you, let me ask y'all something. My best friend had put up a post the other day. And it was a post basically of a girl. She had on a low-cut dress. And the dress said basically, the post was like, y'all letting your woman go out the house like this. I'm going to try to find the post for y'all if I can find it so I can show y'all. And so there was a tweet where the person was like, oh, I'm really tired of this conversation continuously coming up. Oh, here it is. She posted it. So it says, the caption says, y'all letting your girl wear this out. So that's the picture.
Wow. Okay.
So a guy tweeted, honestly, I'm tired of seeing this question. If you're too insecure to let your girl be a bad bitch, then you don't need to be dating a bad bitch.
Wow.
And that's 100% how I feel. I want to ask you guys how you feel about that.
We need to talk about that. We need to talk about it.
If your girl's about to wear this out with or without you, you know exactly, Lady T. What you mean let? I know that's right. So let's change it up. Exactly. So basically, and so it's interesting because what it made me think about is the fact that it is so wild because Pebble said we can wear what the fuck we want to. It's our bodies. Fact.
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
what's interesting to me though is that a lot of guys, especially, I think that, well, no, some lesbians feel this way too. Lesbian relationships, they feel like they want a freak, but they want her to act a certain way out in public or suppress herself in public.
But that's crazy.
It's like, let her be who she is. And a comfortable woman, a secure woman is going to express herself however she sees fit, whether that be totally covered from head to toe, or whether she is exposing herself. Let me tell you something about me. I'm the type of female, you see me in this onesie today, I'm comfortable, I'm happy. You can see me in a two-piece tomorrow.
Okay.
I am comfortable with myself. I am okay with my sexuality. I think a lot of people are ashamed of their bodies. And for a long time, I was ashamed of my body, but I recognize that my body is beautiful. It may not even be exactly what I want it to be, but I'm still going to rock it.
And they think women's
I'm still going to rock it. You want a woman who's sexually fluid. You want a woman who's sexually aware. Dark, but then you want a woman in the dark. That's in the dark, you want that. But then you want her to be
in the light.
Are you scared that somebody else is gonna take her? If you're doing what you need to do, you don't need to worry about that.
Peace out.
You don't need a secure woman if you can do it.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So
that's all I'm saying. An image is nothing but just it can be taken off.
Exactly. So people feel entitled sometimes. Casey said, people feel entitled sometimes because of their title. Mom, dad, sister, girlfriend, boyfriend. Don't let titles blind you. Sometimes loved ones. So she's still talking about the boundaries. Yeah, that don't even matter anymore. Period. Pebble said, I'm going to be me all day. No, ma'am, you cannot tell me what to do. I'm comfortable in my skin. Absolutely. 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 And Pebble said, facts, Bam. And then ladies, he said, facts, ma'am. And it's so true. It's like, it's so weird to me that people will meet you and try to change you later. Have you guys ever experienced that? Like somebody meets you and they love everything about you. They low key, I be feeling like they be trying to suck it out of me. All of my funness, all of the goodness,
touch on that stuff,
everything that they love about me. They trying to suck all of it out of me, but then they want me to change.
Okay.
Woo, child.
What do you want? Okay. What do you want? Do you know?
Hi, Nina.
Do you know?
Afternoon delight. She said afternoon, ladies. So something that, and I'll give you guys an example of what I'm talking about, and we can continue to talk about the outfits and do you think that's appropriate? And if you don't agree, then it's okay. It's okay. Express yourself. But I think it's important to be honest with who you are as a person and not be ashamed of that. Regardless if you think that it's something that a woman should cover up or whatever, or regardless if you don't think she is.
Please express it.
So I'll give you guys this quick story time. So
I love it.
I was, at one point in my life for a couple years, I dated openly, meaning I wasn't monogamous and I was open, and I was with two consistent people, but I was dating both of them and they both knew. One was long distance and one was local.
Okay.
And I always protected myself when being intimate, and I actually wasn't intimate with them oftentimes at the same time. But I was open. Cool. So I met a young lady, and she was interested in me. And I expressed to her that, I really wasn't interested in, I was okay with dating and kind of like hanging out. But I really wasn't interested in anything too much deeper than that because I was already dating two people openly. But if she was okay with that, I would be open to exploring the opportunity with her. At the time, I was very focused on myself, and I had expressed that to her. I had told her, I'm really trying to focus on these pieces in my business and this and that and the third. And so I don't have a lot of time. I need autonomy, freedom to be able to do the things I need to do to focus on myself. So she tells me, this is different for me. I've never dated somebody who was open, but I'm cool with it. It's something I could get used to. Basically, I could tell, though, that she was uncomfortable, but she really wanted to get to know me. So she kind of was putting it to the side, and I felt like genuinely she was also trying to be understanding and open so she could open up her mind.
Yes.
So
That's cool.
we started like chatting and talking more and doing more. And me and the long distance relationship kind of started to dwindle. And that was something that we had discussed would probably happen because he was not only long distance, but he had actually got another job option, which I knew he was going to be less able to be in. And there was no hard feelings. I mean, I still rock with him now, but I just knew that was not really going to be something that we were going to probably continue. So at this point, I'm like, okay, so I'm dating her and another guy. And so she comes into the situation, you know, when she met me, you know, I was going to lingerie parties and we were hosting like boudoir shoots where women would come and be encouraged to feel comfortable in their nudity and their sexuality. And, you know, so these are all parts of me that she was very aware of. But shortly after a couple months into the relationship, it was like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, you always showing yourself. Oh, you doing this. You like attention. Like, nah, sis, you got me fucked up. That's not what it's about. You already knew who I was, which is the reason why you wanted to fuck with me.
Yes.
Let's keep it real. You know I'm an open person. You know that I'm fluid. You know, and
beautiful.
We actually farther into the relationship, me and her had a conversation. She was like, you know, I realized I'm really not comfortable with sharing you, basically. And I started to get more serious with her and started to be like, okay, well, I'm okay with accepting the fact that you're not comfortable with sharing. So I will break it off with the other person. You mean more to me because I'm able to do that. I'm able to determine, but it has to make sense. Make sense. So she was able to compensate what the other individual was doing for me. So she was able to compensate those things, and so I was able to make it work. And I had already changed that part of myself for her, which I felt was a compromise. But what started happening from there is I noticed she started trying to change all kinds of things I was doing and saying, trying to tell me where I should go and where I shouldn't go and the way I shouldn't dress. And I'm like, that's the quickest way for you to lose me, girl. And so that's why that post really resonated with me. Like, if you can't handle a secure, positive, vibrant woman, aka a bad bitch, aka a diamond. You need to go ahead about your business, because my mindset is you got me. Like I'm yours. So why are you feeling insecure about the way I'm dressed? Like, I'm representing us. Okay. If you can't handle it, right? If you can't handle it, that's not my business. It's not my problem. Come on, you don't know how to just your hands up.
Stay there. It's okay. I love her so much, y'all.
So let's see what the people saying.
I love her.
That's a tough one. I don't think anyone or needs permission to dress the way they want to dress, but at the same time, it's like, respect me. Okay. I would like you to elaborate on that a little bit more, Casey. So if you could wear low-cut shirts, and I can tell females that I interact with that you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're sexy, because that's what I was doing before we got together. Same thing, right? I don't think it's the same thing, Casey. But let me see. So ladies, T said most people can't handle the freedom that they say they can. And Pebble said, right, Bam. They think they can change you. And then Pebble said, right, get the fuck out of here. And Pebble said, insecure ass people, bye. So now let's address what Casey was saying. Casey basically said, if you could wear your low-cut shirts and dresses, then I can still chat with people and compliment them and let other ladies know that I think you're beautiful and gorgeous and you're sexy. I mean, I think that you can. But I think it's okay to still compliment people. But I think excessively, if you're in a relationship, no. I don't think it's the same thing. Now, if you were, like if you are, no, you're okay. I'm just trying to keep this up here for you. Sorry,
thank you.
Yeah, no, you're good. No, you're okay. I think that respect is okay, Casey, but I also think maybe you set up those guidelines in the beginning of your relationship, because I think that's really what it depends on, what guidelines you set up in the beginning of your relationship. Because in the beginning of that one, she knew who I was. She knew what I was about. I expressed to her what I desired, and she told me she was okay with it. Once she saw that she had me, wrapped into her, she had my, what would you say, commitment for me is when she tried to switch it up, flip mode.
Whoa.
Okay. No, that's a no-go. But that's disrespectful and you cannot compare the two. I agree. I think that's disrespectful, Casey. I mean, I think if you're especially if you're purposely going out and you're like, oh, shorty, you look good. You look wild, sexy and that, blah, 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 blah. It's like almost to the point where you're asking for negative, you're asking for something from that individual. So Casey said, how though, Pebbles? No one can tell me how you feel. Disrespect means different things to different people. That's what I was saying earlier in the conversation about ethics. I do agree with that. This is a good conversation because I'm happy to hear your insight, Casey, because that's probably how that young lady felt. I'm going to tell you what it is. I feel like clothing is expression. I feel like loving yourself, especially if you have not, if you've had a lot of body image or body issues, it can be really frustrating and upsetting to have someone.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Into by cutting the other people. Oh. But you walked into by cutting the other people. Oh, right. No, I agree. I thought that I was doing something that was a compromise, and in reality, it was like I just should have kept doing what I was doing. I agree with you, T. I agree with you 100%. I think when I, let those other relationships go or the other people off, it gave her the impression that, and I was being monogamous for her at that point, which is I want to speak and say that. And that was already a huge step for me because that's not really what I desired, but I felt like that's what she wanted and I cared for her. Well, that's what she wanted and I cared for her. However, I didn't think that she was going to be on some, you shouldn't be wearing that. You showing, you showing my tits to everybody. You showing my ass to everybody. It's mine. These are my tits. These are my ass.
And they're nice ones too, I might add.
So, what's disrespectful to me? Casey said, what's disrespectful to me, but not disrespectful to them? It's not about changing someone, but it's about compromising and adjusting. So, all the peace in the relationship, and I respect that. So everyone feels respected and valued in the relationship. So, and that's what I was attempting to do. But I think that if you feel to the point where you feel suppressed, if you feel like you can't express yourself, then that's not going to work because you're basically at that point, you're just pretending. You're just, even if I did it, it's not who I am, and I'm just pretending. And I think like is a lot of it is being upfront about who you are. This is what I expect from you as my partner. This is what I think is acceptable. And so I do agree with some pieces of what you have to say, Casey, but when it comes to garments versus like you actually talking to somebody, it's different. Like me wearing a bodycon dress that shows my curves versus you, because what Casey's saying is, because I know you don't understand it.
I need to understand.
What Casey is saying is, let's just say me and her were dating, right?
Yeah.
And I go out, I have a bodycon dress that's very fitted to me.
Looking good.
And my breasts are out. I'm looking good. You know what I mean? If she's with me, so I want you to answer this, Casey. If you were with your partner and they're like that, meaning you're holding their hand, y'all out on a date, are you cool? Or, or does it not matter if she's with you or not with you? So let's just say I'm going out by myself and with my girls and I'm looking good with a T. Good. Like okay. And, what Casey's saying is she feels like that's disrespectful. And she thinks the equivalent of her she should be okay and permissible to, if she sees women that look good or whatever, to let them know they look sexy. Oh, you working that dress, blah, 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 blah. So she's saying that if you could wear that tight dress, then I can go do that with other females. And what Pebbles is saying is, it's not quite the same thing.
No, it's not. No way. Okay, I got you.
That's what they're going through. And so respectful. Terry said, yes, Casey. Pebbles said clothing and compliments are two different things. Pebbles said, hell no. Casey said, right, Pebbles, clothing and compliments are two different things. Clothing is expressing yourself physically, and compliments are expressing yourself emotionally and verbally. And I think we all need to grow up.
Oh,
That's what
yes.
Terry said. Well,
no, but Terry, yeah.
No, I agree.
What you mean by it is really grow up and get mature about
about
everything?
what's happening. I mean, at the end of the day, expressing yourself in clothing, expressing yourself in words is the same difference.
Okay.
I beg to differ, Casey. I think that I think you're making a great argument. I want to say that. Let me just say that.
Okay.
But I beg to differ just because I feel like verbal expression is very direct. Now, clothing expression is literally just sharing who you are.
Yeah,
you may feel
that could be
you feel
wild.
sexy. You feel you feel sexy. You
you
love yourself. But you are literally doing all that and really just with one person. Okay. But when you verbally express yourself to other people, you're right. You can dress the way you want. When you verbally express yourself to people, it's direct. You letting them know what's up. Like you might be wearing something tight and get compliments from people.
Yeah.
And some people might want the attention and compliments from people. However, that's not that could be because they are into it. Whereas if you are verbally talking to somebody, you are literally telling the person, I'm into you. Like you're sexy, you're hot, you are popping. Whereas if I'm wearing a dress, that doesn't mean I'm saying to somebody, you're sexy. It means I'm saying I'm sexy.
Exactly. And
so
that's okay.
That's where I think that, and I could be wrong, but that's where I feel like Pebbles was coming from saying they're two different things, because I agree.
Okay.
Casey said, okay, I read that.
Okay.
Lady T said, let people be themselves. And that at the end of the day.
Hey, that's all I'm saying.
At the end of the day, that is the golden rule. Let people be themselves.
Please.
Because one thing I also ended up telling that young lady is what I have mentioned already here, which is, you can try to control me or define me or put me in a box all you want, right? And I might adhere to it for a little while, but that's still not who I am. So guess what? It's not going to last. It's not going to last. Somebody can pretend, but not for so long.
Oh my God.
You're going to end up losing that person you're trying to grasp so tightly the way you want them to be. It's not realistic. So let people be who they are. And because truly, you don't want someone to be with you miserable. I mean, I know I don't. I don't. I want people to be themselves. And if that means that, they're not with me 100%, that's just what it is.
Okay.
I feel like let the universe, let things naturally happen. Regardless if that means they get closer to you naturally or they distance from you naturally because of the way that you are. Because when you force people to do certain things and believe certain things and see certain things, all you can do is express how you feel about life.
And then
you don't
the things
that they can. Right. You cannot make someone be somewhere or change someone in any kind of way.
No, it has to be something that's natural. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be naturally, or it's not factual.
Yeah. Terry said, I believe in letting people wear whatever they want to wear. And Pebble said, yes, Bam.
Yeah.
Yes, Lady T. And then T said, I learned so much from my foster kids. Absolutely. They all dress differently for a reason. That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Because they're different at different times.
Yes. And
everyone has
as you grow, you start to learn and like different things. Let me tell you something. My grandmother used to make candy on different days. My grandma used to make jumpsuits. And when I was younger, I thought they were so ugly. But now that I'm older, I'm like looking back and I'm like, them jumpsuits was hot as fuck. Like, I want some parachute pants right now, some NC Hammer pants right now. Okay, I want some right now. So you go through different stages in your life, and expression is big. And for me, growing up, I was very much about covering up myself. I never wanted to show myself. I never had really any expression. I would wear oversized clothes. I would wear boys' clothes, like trying to cover up myself. And as I got more comfortable with my body, I realized there's nothing to be ashamed of. And that's because I lived my life in shame. A lot of the things that I did not do or go out to do in life were because of shame. And so for me, wearing a low cut shirt is not about the next person. It truly is not. It's about me living my life shamelessly. And that's something, when I started this YouTube channel, that was like one of the big purposes of the channel, to live my life shamelessly, not to be ashamed of who I am or how I feel or what I want. So that's where it comes from. But I respect what you're saying, Casey. And you know, it is what it is. So
let's go. Yeah.
She says, speak on it, Bam. Yes. Let's say me and Bam are dating. Everybody heard it. Everybody heard it. Everybody heard it. Some would come to me hiding their heads. You let them be, and when they left, they would not hide. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's powerful. That's powerful. You smell something?
Yeah, I keep smelling something. Just give me a minute.
Something burning?
Yeah, it smells like something. And I got keep, just my, my nose.
Mm-hmm. I know your nose, girl.
Sure, that's not happening.
Is it over there?
No.
Okay, must be the neighbor.
Check, and I'm sitting there.
Okay, cool. So you would let them be, and they would not hide. Yes, Bam. We talked about that before. I was that way also. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's powerful. It's powerful. You gotta.
Thank
you have to be able to express yourself. So I'm glad that I got that insight though from you, Casey, because I think that a lot of people feel that way, and there's really nothing wrong with it per se. It's just
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And boundaries were where we began.
Yeah.
And we're gonna end with boundaries, but I just wanted to know what you people think about a lot of things and what you would like to talk about, because me and her, we're coming together. It don't matter how it happens, it's gonna happen. Okay, because the universe says so, the creator says so, and that's how I'm moving. So in the beginning, it was what would you want? What would you be most afraid of? And that would question I would ask everybody to just take time to think about that. What would you want? Because if it was nothing here to want, what would you want? You understand? What would be your last request if you had one great wish? What would that be? One great wish. Come at me. What would be your one great wish? You said you like success, but would you want to be successful if you had one last wish left?
I would want to. It ties into my being successful and being afraid, but basically just doing what makes me every day when it comes to my livelihood, my work, my job. I just want to do what makes me happy and impact other people in a positive way.
Yes, and there's no wrong answer.
Right.
But the answer is ask yourself that.
Yeah.
You understand? Some people want money, some people want success, some people want life.
Him, if he wants to wear that, and in all honesty, she came, it might make me uncomfortable, but that's just something I have to deal with. In actuality, if my feelings, whether I feel respectful or disrespectful, my feelings go on unanswered for so long, I just cut my ties and leave but put yourself first. And that's what I was going to say. Like, at the end of the day, you know your values. If somebody that you're rocking with is not respecting your values, you guys can't come to some sort of compromise, and you just have to, remove yourself. And it's sad sometimes, but that's how it is. Hi, Ebony.
Hi, Nina.
Hi, Nina. Yes, women are beautiful. Wear what you want. That is insecurities. Women are beautiful. Wear what you want. What is their insecurity? Oh, their insecurities are not yours. Okay, so he said, I'm not going to stop nobody that can do what they truly want to do. If my feelings are going on unheard, I put myself first and leave for the happiness of both of us. And I agree with that 100%. 100%. I actually have such a funny story. This will close out the live today. But so this guy was interested in me, and he's much older. He's probably like not even much older than me. Well, he's probably like 10 years older than me. What do you need?
We have one more comment.
Oh, that's okay.
Go ahead.
I have to get her together sometimes.
Yeah,
I already read that.
Oh my God, I'm late. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
exactly. Late. No, I'm joking. So the guy that I was talking to, gosh, this is such a complex. So let me try to break it down. Basically, I had the same accident that I was in, that I told you guys I would talk to you about eventually when some of the legal stuff is done. this guy had kind of started talking to me around that time, and he told me that he kind of just wanted to be there to give me some guidance, to help me out with a couple things. Cool. I'm like, okay. I didn't even know he liked me, but he ran in a similar circle that I ran. So he was just around. The guy was probably like 10 years my senior. So like, he's like 43, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I've dated an older guy before. I've dated a guy that was like 48, 49. Mm-hmm. And that was a good situation. But this was very different than that. And he, you know, took me out a couple times and we hung out. And quickly I knew, okay, I don't want to date this guy. I'm not interested. I was not physically attracted. Emotionally and mentally, even though he was older than me, his mental was, in my mind, in my feelings, very immature. And I felt like he had a lot of talent and he had a lot going for himself, but he really wasn't applying himself the way that he needed to in order to get the full, the full benefits. Because people that are in his profession, he's better than some of them, but just really wasn't doing much with it. So fast forward. Mm-hmm. So about a month passes and he recognizes that the situation is not going anywhere. And he's a very sexual person. So he kept talking to me about sexual stuff and just kept pushing boundaries. And he's a person that always was saying something off the wall. And I would let him know, I'm not comfortable with that. You're upsetting me. This is making me uncomfortable. I would say all the things that I needed to say.
Was he here?
Was he listening at all? Oh, I don't know. But a lot of this was text, so he could read. Wow. But there was a lot of times when I just told him up front, I'm not comfortable with what you're saying. You're making me uncomfortable, so on and so forth. Okay. And so, you know, those things kind of were falling on deaf ears. But, and so this actually is this funny because this story really ties into boundaries and what we were just talking about clothing and expression and all everything. That. So he, so I knew, even if I was sexually attracted to him, which I was not, I knew that because of his lack of respect for my boundaries, that it could not work. And then I started to notice how he would push other people's boundaries and cross other people's boundaries. And because he would say things and I'll be like, yo, do you hear what you're saying? Like, that's mad disrespectful, very rude what you're saying, very out of line, out of pocket. So long story short, but he does stuff like that to people all the time. He has very feminine traits as far as feeling like he has to have the last word, feeling like he has to argue with people. Because I don't even be arguing like that. Okay. It don't make sense. So fast forward and he recognizes that he's not going anywhere with me. And so one day he asked me, and I tell him, you know, I'm not interested in you. I think you're a great person and I love your craft and your talent, but I'm not interested in you romantically. He's like literally pushing me like, why? I'm like, why do you keep asking me? Why do you keep asking me that? So I'm like, I've already told you. No, it's okay. I've already told you. So then he's like, no, specifically, like, why? What is it? Is it physical? Is it? I said, well, I'm not physically attracted to you. So he was a guy. He had he had locks, but he had locks a long time. And I nothing wrong with locks. I like locks, but his were thin. And you know how when guys are getting older, they get to that receding hairline, and he was missing hair. And it was all kinds of stuff going on. And so that was one of the physical things I didn't really like, because I like somebody that really keeps himself up pretty nicely. You do what you want to do, but don't try to force me to like what you are if I'm telling you I'm not physically attracted to it. So he was like, what is it? What is it exactly? And I said, do you really want to know? Because this is the point. The boundaries had been pushed so much. This is like 2.5 months after him pushing my boundaries constantly, me taking the high road. And so I was like, you really want to know? So he was like, yes. So I told him, I said, well, your hair, number one, has to, change. I said, I know. And at the time I was in really good physical shape. And I was like, I know that it can be difficult to keep your body up. I said, but you have not really done much to keep yourself up. And I said, you're overweight. And sometimes because you're overweight, the clothes you wear are not as flattering, because, you can be overweight. For instance, right now I'm overweight, technically obese. However, I know how to dress for my weight. I know how to dress it up, make it look good. What Future said, dress it up and make it real for me. Like, make it look good. But he wouldn't do that. He's like I said, 43, but he's still dressing like he's 19 or 20, like a young man. And I'm like, you might want to update your wardrobe a little bit so you can look good for, you know, you can serve basically. And so I told him that. I told him that he dressed a little young for my taste. You know, the way he dressed, the style wasn't up to par.
Okay.
And then he kind of came back at me real because he was upset, which is understandable.
Yeah.
He was telling me, "Oh, you only care about brands." I said, "You could wear a polo from damn Walmart. I would care less, but it's how you rocking it, how you present it." And so he totally garbled up what I said, took my message the wrong way, ended up talking to some other people about it. But my issue with that was his style, his expression. I didn't really like it, and I was comfortable backing off of it because I wasn't into it. I wasn't going to dare try to change him. I wasn't going to try to tell him, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this for me. No, you live your life, boo. It's not for me. You live your life, boo. You live your best life.
Yeah.
Live for you. And that's what I mean.
That's where it starts. If you can't do it for you, then why do it for me?
It sounds like he took you away from how you are. He sounds like an ass. He is an ass. Wow. But what's funny is about him is I felt like it was just for towards me. But as time progressed and I saw how he interacted with lots of people, I recognize that's how he interacts with people. Like he's very argumentative. Like he's just he likes to pull things like that out of people.
And there's people that way. Yeah. And that's a salty first way to be.
Yeah, that's salty. He's a very salty person. Very salty. Very, very bitter person. He very just is. And so
yeah.
He was a trip. But I guess we're cool now. I don't really interact with him too much, but I just noticed that he has that issue. Thank you. He has the issues with lots of people. He likes to abuse. Oh, yes, he likes people to abuse him, and so that ties me into another part. That ties me into another part about this story, which is when I met him. You know, he was doing all these things to me, and I could have easily taken advantage of him. And I literally, what I told him is, you know, I really like you as a person. And so because I'm not romantically interested in you, I don't really want you to keep taking me out and asking me to do things. If you're doing those things for my romantic interest. And so that's what made him so upset. Whereas once he got upset and I talked to him, I said, I could have very well just used you. I could have told you, kept going out with you like other girls that you had chosen are. Now, something my friend said, I know a friend that mutually knows both of us. Yeah. And my friend was like, you know, and he always claims that he's not, surface, that he's not all into looks and superficial, but he's a liar because he tried to make me feel bad and be like, oh, you're superficial. But in reality, I'm like, you are too, because there are people who are interested in him that he wants time of day, I'm keeping it real, but they're more up to his speed because I forgot to tell y'all his teeth are also kind of jacked up, but they're more up to his speed. And I ain't got nothing. He what was he lacking? So he lacked, I don't know what the hell he was lacking. Period. He was definitely trying to compensate with something. He was trying to do something. I can't even speak on it, but he would often choose women who are very, very attractive. Like when I say very attractive, I'm not even talking about like, oh, she's a pretty girl. I'm talking about like bomb ass women. And you know, like I'm chilling right now. Y'all know me. But if I really get myself dolled up, you know, I'm presenting myself 100%. All the things I do for maintenance and to keep myself looking good. Yes. If you're trying to date a woman like that, you need to match that same energy. You don't need to be walking around looking like a bum, you know, with shirts with stains on them and this, that, and the third, looking sloppy, you know, with your hair halfway done. You can't approach a woman like that if you're not going to be up to a certain standard. So when he said that I was being superficial, I'm like, yo, you got it twisted. You're superficial as well. And so my friend was telling me, this was her opinion. My friend was like, yeah, he likes to choose women who are out of his league. And I thought that was so powerful because she was like, a lot of the women he tries to choose are like these super ultra gorgeous women that have a standard of living or have a standard of dating. And they're clearly out of your league, bruh. And you are mad when they use you. And I was one that wasn't trying to use them because I'm actually a decent person,
Okay,
and you got mad at me for keeping it real with you and telling you why all these women were using you. And that's why I said what I just said, because they said he likes for people to abuse him, and he does. Because why would you choose women like that when you have people that are interested in you, but you feel like they're not up to par, but you're gonna call me superficial? Why are you being superficial about the people that like you?
Yeah, because okay, Roland. Yeah. It was like the bobblehead thing, right?
Yeah.
It's all gravy, baby.
Ah! Gosh, you guys are crazy. Let me see. Y'all are crazy. Let me see what y'all said. So Terry said maybe if you called him bitch, he would do anything for you. Laugh out loud. Just kidding. Maybe.
Okay.
Lady Pebble said, Pebbles is laughing. T said beard. Ooh, Pebble said yes, facts. Match my fly, Pebble said. And then Terry said,
I like the way you work it. Match my fly.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Terry said that's what he needed, a beard. He likes men. Laugh out loud, Lady T. I don't know.
Whoa.
But I'm going to tell y'all that he definitely used to trip me out, because it was a young lady he dated before me through the grapevine who was very attractive and did use him and openly told people, yeah, I'm just using him for restaurant dates. I don't really like him. I'm just using him, like he's disgusting to me, yada, yada, so forth. And so, you know, it's crazy to me, because it's like, I asked him, I said, would you have rather me just kept going out with you, acting like I was into you when I wasn't? Because, I mean, I could have done that. That's what you wanted, but I was trying to keep a mutual respect between us.
And they
swear
they want the girl. Oh, see? It's like, what?
Don't get me to lying.
Ben.
But he was really, really bad with boundaries. So he had, there were so many different things that happened in our acquaintanceship that let me know that I needed to back away from him. He was just salty as a fucking salt shaker.
There go the
like
salt.
Pebble said, yeah, it's a salt shaker. So basically, I'm going to tell you this one thing he did.
Shaking ass.
Oh my God. It's just so many things now that I think about it. But I'm going to tell you this one thing he did. So I was in that accident. I told you guys I was in an accident. It was at work. I was out of work for about 2 or 3 weeks before. No, excuse me. I was out of work for 3 weeks because of the accident. And so he comes. No, actually, it was a little bit longer than that. It was 8 weeks. Excuse me. That was a whole nother time when I was out for 2 weeks. But I was out of work for 8 weeks because of the accident, due to the accident. And that's when he had gotten involved with me, was like interacting with me. Again, he used that accident as a way to kind of creep in and help me. And I thought he was just trying to help me. He had ulterior motives. It's all good. People do. We're not talking no more, but we're all in a group chat. Me and a ton of other people on Facebook. There's like maybe about 100 people in the chat. And so it's a lot of people in this chat. And so one Sunday, I'm out with my girls for brunch, and they're all a part of the chat too. And a conversation is being had about women and sexuality or something. I'm not even a part of the conversation. I think I came and I saw something somebody said, I liked their picture. Or like what they said. Whatever they said was in opposition to this guy, the guy that had been trying to date me. And so then another guy notices that I was in the group, and that other guy, they were talking about traveling. This was a separate conversation than what the initial conversation was. They were talking about traveling. So the guy that was talking about traveling was like, oh, I love to travel. And I said, I did too. And he was like, well, maybe we can travel sometime together. The other guy in the group. Now, this guy that feels probably rejected by me, felt some type of way, I guess, by what I said to this other guy, this interaction I'm having. And so the guy that you guys think likes men, he comes in and he says, what you mean you need a vacation? Because I had said I love to travel too. And he said, maybe we can go somewhere sometime. And so I said, I said, yes, I need a vacation. I would love that. To this other guy who said that we should go traveling sometime. So this clown comes into the group chat and says, what you mean you need a vacation? You just was off for X amount of weeks from work talking about you need a vacation. Oh, no, you didn't, fool. You done crossed my boundaries. It's 100 plus people. It's 100 plus people in this group chat. Some people don't even know me. Some people don't even ever talk. So you even bringing up my personal business,
Wow.
and it was something that I was very, very sensitive about.
Very.
It was an accident I was involved in. So I'm just like, are you dumb or are you dumb? Like, why would you bring that up in here? Why would you? So guess what? Since he wanted to be stupid in front of the group, you know I acted real ignorant. I said to him, you're totally inappropriate. What you just said was out of line. Don't you ever speak about me unless you know. Don't come for me unless I send for you, period. Periana, okay? So Periana. I had to let him know right then and there. And so later on that night, we're talking because he texted me and was like, and I basically reached out to him later. I said, listen, I don't know if your intention was to come for me, but I'm a very private person. I do not like for my business to be out there. It's something I'm still dealing with on a sensitive. It's very sensitive to me. And so it's something I'm still dealing with. And me getting back to work, it's been hard on me. So as you should know, because you've been around. And so, but that was his opportunity to jab me. That's what that was about, y'all. That's what I'm saying. He's salty. So that was his opportunity to jab me after we had our last conversation. So that's what he did in front of the 100+ people. Mm-hmm. So so at first I'm basically on some my bad for coming at you, basically back the way, giving you the same energy I gave you. And he's like, he hits me with people are too sensitive. I'm not in the mood for this tonight. And I said, people are too sensitive. I'm not in the mood for it tonight. I said, don't you worry about it. I tried to come at you on some like decent shit, but you clearly don't get it. So I'm gonna leave it alone and forget what you're saying. He had basically said I was being sensitive and I needed to like get over it. And I was just you know what? Forget you. And I think I said fuck you actually. And he was like, fuck you too. And I'm like, you are fucking crazy, boy. You are crazy.
It's getting ugly.
Shake it like a salt shaker. I did. I had to let him know about himself. I had to let him know. And and I think he got to feeling some type of way because the group was created by him. But people were like agreeing with me. They were just like, what did that have to do with that? He was mad because the other guy was giving me some attention, essentially.
Isn't that terrible though?
It's like, bro, you in here talking to females every day. Do I fucking cock block on you? Like, why are you in here trying to? Not even that me and this gentleman would have even traveled together. He was just chatting with me. This guy was just chatting with me. And so my girlfriends that were at the table, they were like, Bam, I'm gonna take your phone right now. And I was like, yeah, please do. Please do. Take it. Because I got him together though.
Wow.
Real cute, like.
Okay. I ain't mad, dude. When you're strong, and I appreciate watching you. And your hair is quite done.
Thank you.
Quite done.
Still working, y'all. The hair company is coming.
Still quite done.
It's coming. I am trying some different hair. So this is the kinky curly, which I will rename it. But I wanted to try. I'm a firm believer in trying everything before I just put it out there. I want to know that it is the best quality. You have to. This process with hair is very saturated. I want to say that extension companies are very saturated, but all companies are not made alike. And I also want to say that some of the big companies don't even have the best hair. Okay. Their marketing is fabulous. And I'm not going to try to throw no shade on nobody, but I've worn a lot of hair from lots of different companies, and it's all not up to par. I know hair. And this is really, really good curly hair. It really, really is. It mimics my hair so well. And
and you can lay with it, and it's okay. You know. With the
so I have been wearing this since
beautiful
December, right at the end of my birthday.
And it's the same. It's a hair texture, which is
So now we're going on 3 months? January, February. So the end of this month will be 3 months. So wearable hair. I plan to take it out probably in May. Honestly, I'm going to get it treated this week, get it retightened and all that stuff. But I'm going to be making some wigs soon so I could try out some new textures. And once I do that, then hopefully, I'm hoping that in the spring, early summer, we get the hair company back popping. So you guys stay tuned for that. So Casey said, he said block him. And I did. I blocked him. I did.
Wow.
Yes. Casey said, well, shit, Bam, let me know about myself. Laugh out loud. Why can't we get married?
you, Casey. So
Nina,
sweet.
he is hating because you didn't want him. And that's what I felt like, Nina. I felt like it was much deeper. And it was like, I really wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I was so sweet when I talked to him. But again, he was so bent on me telling him why I wasn't into him. And I said, because he ended up minimizing it or maximizing it to, oh, that's why no women want to talk to me, because it wasn't just me. No, you're going after women who are not in your league, and not just because of your looks. They're not in your league because of the way you carrying yourself. You literally want a trophy. You literally want a trophy wife, but you don't want to carry yourself. And that's the shit that bugs me out about men. They will want a woman with a fat ass, tits, small waist, but you don't take care of yourself. You got a beer belly. You got all these things going on, but you want something that's unrealistic or not. It bugs me out. It bugs me out. So Casey said, well, why? And Betty said, Bettyville. I love that, Nina. I already told Bam I want her hair in my face.
And it's soft.
Let's get married. Pebbles with that. Casey said men sometimes are that way, are way more sensitive than women. I feel like they can't.
And they want to hide everything.
Oh, no, they can't.
They want to hide. You notice that? You want to hide everything, all your insecurity, everything. But you want us to be, come on, like what?
Yeah.
Is this a real relationship or you just playing with my head?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Any relationship, it could be anything. Are you playing with me or what? You playing, and those games are not to be played. You understand?
Right.
They're not to be played.
Absolutely.
Clearly,
it's crazy.
You playing with games you're not to be playing with. Okay?
He has champagne taste on beer money, and that's a fact, honey. That is a fact. A triple D fact. And it's so funny because the last couple of dates we had, like I think maybe the first date we actually had,
and it's okay.
I did look decent, but the next couple of times that we met up for drinks or food or whatever, I was chilling. I had on tights and like some slides, and he made comments about that, like, "Oh, you don't even dress that good," you know.
Right.
He was like, "Oh, you came to dinner several times with slides on." Well, clearly, nigga, you should have known that I wasn't into you if I'm coming with some slides on.
Oops.
And that's what I had to, again, because I can be kind of sharp and wicked with the tongue, and I try to reel it in because it's not nice. It's not nice to be that way. And so I really don't want to be that way. But when somebody is being ugly and nasty, and he knows how to do it, he knows how to do it. And I know I'm not the only one. He actually did something to one of my friends recently, and they had to get in. They had to get in on him too. So you're right. Whoever said that him not get to be abused, y'all might be 100% right.
Wow. If you somebody else
absolutely, Casey. Casey said, and don't let a stud turn them down. They talk mad shit. Absolutely.
Whoa.
Casey said, them studs, doms, woo, child. Pebbles. They always big mad. T said, like I said, some men need to stay in trick status. It's a fact. It ain't
not
trick.
Relationship material, lady. Jesus.
Right. She said that he's just a trick. Not relationship material. I agree. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's just what it is.
Whoa. What are you getting?
Yeah, I'm drinking this coffee, girl. Mm-hmm. But absolutely, you guys, I want you guys to comment and tell me what you want to see. I'm going to try to start getting back to doing some videos, edited videos. I feel like you guys enjoy my lives a little bit more. And the edited videos every now and then is good too. But it's just my life has just been very busy. So it's a lot easier to come to you guys on live. But tell me what you guys want to see and talk about. Once I get my health stuff, my medical stuff together, I'll come and talk to you guys about that. I don't want to talk to you in advance because I don't have a diagnosis at this time, but somebody asked me would I do a vlog of that kind of stuff on Instagram. I don't know if that's something you guys want to see, but once I find out what's going on, like I may do a vlog. I have 2 appointments at the end of this month, so I may do a vlog on those days to try to do that. I'm meant to call my cardiologist and try to get that appointment moved. I might not be able to, but it's all good if I can't. It is what it is.
Yeah, we find out if it's proper, then because I'm interested in her health because it's a part of who you are and where you're going with it.
Oh, Terry, thank you.
It's important.
So also, really quick, what time did 12:30 work better for most of you guys? Because I know that 12:30 is technically
Brunch
what time
afternoon?
for, because that's Eastern time, but Terry is in the West Coast. So what time is it there? Aren't they 3 hours
Oh, in
ahead?
California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 hours ahead,
Yeah.
California.
I think it's well, if we eat 3 hours here, then we get there. It's 3 hours.
So it's 11:26 there right now.
Right.
So later probably works better for Terry to get on. Oh, Terry said anytime. I know that's right.
Oh, okay. All right,
that can be hiding something. So do you think they're gay when they holler at a stud? When a man hollers at a stud, that's what I was telling y'all about. Remember a couple lives ago, I was telling y'all about my homeboy. Where I was dating a guy and his best friend had a ongoing long-term relationship with a stud. Did I tell you guys about that? I'm pretty sure I did. And that used to bug me out. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, she's still a woman. So, yeah, they could have sex. But it's like, that's like his homeboy. Like, they hang out like homeboys. Yeah. Like, that's his name. It's weird. Yeah. To me, it was just, it wasn't weird. It wasn't uncomfortable. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was more weird than uncomfortable. But it certainly was different. I had never seen that until hanging out with them and seeing that.
Okay, but, yeah. Mm-hmm. Attraction is attraction. That's
she said, Pebbles at the same time, a female's a female, and I do know that you have underneath the jeans. He thought it was a quick hit, probably. Yeah. My mom had to really instill in my head that even though you're a stud, these men know you have a vagina. Be careful out there. And I've had some men try to violate me. Absolutely.
Yes. Oh my God, that's a clear one. Can we do a show on that, baby?
Yes. What? Yes. Violation.
Yes.
Yeah.
In every sense of the form, because they do that constantly.
Yeah.
On both sides, even men get violated.
Oh yeah.
And gay men,
transgender
men. That shit is like that when you're saying no, and they clearly saying no. Fuck that, then. You know.
Right.
That's a biggie.
Yeah.
That's a biggie because they violation.
So I'm going to do probably a video on
scary, but
my I'm gonna do an edited video on my rape that I encountered, just because I know it's gonna be a very probably emotional, and I want to have the ability to step away if I need to. Yeah. However, I will follow up with a live talking about sexual assault, abuse, emotional and sexual abuse together, and how that works, and violation, which again is another boundary. You're crossing a boundary.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know it's something. And T said, no, someone to hang out with because the stud be getting women. That part too. Pebbles all day and Casey, be careful. Nina said, no, it's a challenge to get us lesbians. That's what men think. I agree.
But then when you're alone, they may buy,
Yeah, no doubt.
Things happen.
No doubt. But like I said, I had a friend that was a stud all my life, and then she ended up pregnant. I'm like, what the hell? How did that happen?
Yeah.
I mean,
things
happen. So, yeah. Well, that's a big one to talk about for me. I understand, T. So we're going to prepare you. That's why we're telling you now. Yeah. Because I think, sensitive. I know, it not only is it sensitive, but I know that is a main reason why people have a hard time living up to their greatest potential, because of the violation that they have encountered from others.
Girl.
It's powerful. It's powerful. So, I will, once I record my video, you guys will get that. And then we'll have a live on it. It may be a couple weeks because it is such a heavy topic. I want to settle in you guys' space because I want to hear what you guys have to say. And I know it's a real thing for so many people.
Answers that people want to ask each other or us.
You can do it. I'm so happy to have you guys. T said, Terry said, I can do it. So,
we can,
and I'm gonna share my story mainly first, so that way everybody will feel comfortable and know this is a safe space.
Yes.
I also will.
Me too.
We're gonna open up. We're gonna open up.
Yeah, we'll do it in how we find that it's most comfortable, because
there is a story. I have to get permission from this person to share.
Yeah.
But there's a story that I will share on the live, but I'll get permission before I share that story. But because it's such a big thing, and we are definitely here to support each other. You guys have no idea how much
And I think it have changed people's
helped me.
lives.
Yeah.
You know, what happens to us when we're very young,
Mm-hmm.
even with our parents or outside our parents or
Mm-hmm.
with friends or playmate. Anything will change things happening to you as you grow because you don't grow. I think you don't grow that normally. Something
Absolutely.
changes.
That's right.
And you don't realize that you change because of it. And once you change, you go into a cocoon. When you come out, you're somebody else. And you understand what I mean?
I agree.
That's all I'm saying. You're somebody else and don't realize it until after you reach the world, after you grow, and you ignoring it. But you don't change way back then. So it's up to how we deal with that. So thank you for being here with us. I'm sorry I wasn't on time.
Okay? Oh, it's all good. We're gonna get better, guys. But they love you. Love us. I love you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Means so much to me.
Boundaries, goddammit. Boundaries.
Yes, T. That's why I changed my name so I can talk freely.
Yes.
Smart. I have seen the movie Boys Don't Cry. It's one of my favorite movies with Hilary Swank.
Yes,
absolutely.
Girl.
Absolutely.
Yes, girl. Huh.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to do it
Pebble
the way it's
said,
supposed
yes,
to be
let's
done.
pray higher power, give us strength and courage to talk about that.
Yes. And should we start doing that? Go out with what we would ask for or who we are and what we would want for our next, for a blessing, that's all.
We'll just blessing and then
a blessing. That will be
You're welcome. And guys, follow me on Instagram because I always talk about when I'm going on, or make sure you hit the bell button so you know when I'm going live or when I have a new video. Of course, subscribe, share, and like. Please. And until next time, we love you. Thank you. Ow. Always forward, never backward.
Yes.
Yes. Facts. See you next Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see some of you on Tuesday because I go up on Tuesday as well.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll see you next
Love
Sunday.
You guys. It is beautiful. I'm about to go and enjoy some of this weather tomorrow. Bye.